So a few of you in the comments of the last video wanted a tier list, so here it is, I guess. Today I will be going over all the heroes currently in Predecessor, saying where I think they currently fit within the meta and trying to give a quick overview on why I think that. Before getting into it, remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and I do have memberships for those that want to support the channel as well as gain a couple of neat benefits. But to get straight into it, I will start from the top to the bottom tiers, and this is obviously opinion based, so if you do disagree with any of it, feel free to drop it in a comment. So first up in the S tier bracket is Steel. I've gone over Steel's strengths in the Let's Talk Pred video, but just to quickly recap why I think Steel is sleeper OP. He has good health and armor scaling, requires very little to get fairly tanky due to his passive giving him a shield every time he hits an enemy with an ability. And to top it off, his damage is pretty scary even if he goes full tank, due to some of the passives on items. I think Steel is probably one of the best offlaner picks as well as support if you don't mind playing fairly safe for the first few levels. He is one of the most unga bunga heroes in the game right now, and you should be scared of him. Second in the S tier bracket, I've chosen Howitzer. He's a mid laner with a lot of opportunities to mess up someone's day. Even if you gank a Howitzer, you might end up being the one who dies. He has a scary good combo with both slow grenades plus a mine to bounce enemies either away or towards himself. Add his R2000 missile and an ultimate and he can kill a more squishy hero in one go if they aren't careful. Howitzer, in my opinion, is the strongest mid laner for versatility and damage output. Coming up last for the S tier is Richter. You might be surprised or unsurprised at this, but Richter is legit scary in the right hands and can play all roles bar the carry role. He has good scaling for health and damage, 2 hard CCs plus a silence. Not only do you get a hero who's quite tanky and can have a decent damage output, but you have a hero who can change a game with his pull, giving you massive play potential, considering one pull could quite literally change the game. Looking now at the A tier candidates, starting with Countess. She's the latest hero, but I feel it's safe to say she's currently A tier. She has good damage output relatively early, as well as poke potential and trading potential with a Shadow Slip paired with her other abilities. She can snowball really well after a few kills, and later in the game she has good survivability from her healing abilities and passive. She also has really good roaming potential, as her Eventide helps to clear waves effectively fairly early on, so she's definitely got good shoulders for carrying a game. Second in A tier is Sparrow. After her buff in the recent patch, she is a very strong carry right now, and I think she is fairly underused due to her not having an escape or hard CC like other carry options. But even without this, she has a power spike from level 6, plus she can boost her damage output with her heightened senses ability, which can increase her attack speed for up to 40%, which for a carry is pretty nutty. She is a very strong anti-tank carry as well as having insane damage output for squishes. And to be honest, I foresee more people playing her in the next few weeks as people realise how strong she actually is. Looking next at Crunch in the A tier, he was nerfed in the last patch but is still a very strong pick for jungle and the offlane. His ability to 1v1 is pretty much unlocked from level 2 and level 6 in my opinion, are his 2 big power spikes in raw damage. He has a gap closer with his stun as well as high damage and a knockup of his E ability if it's empowered. On top of this, he can sustain himself via his ultimate passive with basic attacks and abilities. I don't think anyone comes close to Crunch in a 1v1 fight other than Grux, who is next to come in the list. Grux, similarly to Crunch, is a very strong jungle and offlane pick, but where he differs is the potential he has to dominate in 1v1s and ganks, as Grux is all about the combo of CC. Grux has a pull, knockup, and AoE stun with his ultimate. Couple this with his dot damage from his passive, and before you know it, you've killed a whole family of heroes in a bloody rage. He's a very strong pick currently, and he has the potential to be very oppressive, similarly to Crunch, even without any kills. Next up is Kalari. She's a very divisive hero in terms of the community due to her being very strong early game with her camouflage. She has a pretty decent jungle clear for an assassin, plus her early ganks are incredibly strong unless the enemy has warded. But even if they ward due to her jumping passive, you can always attempt it from another angle. And an early game gank with her death mark is a very strong way to snowball either the laner's kills or your own. She is probably my favourite jungler in the game currently due to her gank heavy playstyle. Moving on now to Murdoch. He's a carry, but he has a pretty strong pre-6 as he's pretty safe as far as carries go, unless he gets hard CC'd. He has his knockback shotgun blast, traps which can root in place, and also his stim pack which allows him to move a bit quicker, gain bonus HP, and also gives him slow immunity. If you can last hit pretty well, know how to play defensively or set up traps well, Murdoch is a very good carry pick. Plus you don't even really need to win a fight to get a kill after level 6, as you can just snipe people running away or backing with his ultimate. And finally last in the A tier, Gadget. She's pretty self-explanatory. She has a lot of burst damage in her kit mixed with a slow ability and a gate which gives her movement speed as well as rooting the enemy. In a teamfight comp, she has a large AoE ability that will burn through an enemy team or force them to retreat. She also has really good wave clear after the first item, meaning you do get opportunities to roam to other lanes if you want to play her like that. Next up is the B tier, starting with Chimera. Now Chimera is a little weaker due to the buff to anti-heal items, but he's still insanely strong as a jungler with his clear potential. You can do the whole jungle and still be basically full HP due to his passive, but he is slightly weaker in terms of gank potential due to not having any hard CC until level 6. He can solo Fangtooth on spawn still, but you definitely want to have at least one item or someone to help you if you don't want it to take forever. Second in B tier is Deca. Slightly down from where she was pre-patch, but still a good support. She has really good teamfight potential due to her combo and cage, plus she's not easy to lock down due to her rocket boots. She's definitely got a higher skill ceiling, but due to her not being as simple as other options that are as effective, I've placed her a little bit lower. Feng Mao is also here in the B tier. He does have the potential to be strong and his ultimate execute can be scary, but I feel like you have to win lane fairly hard to take advantage of him compared to other heroes. I do think maybe I'll have to try him jungle more for the potential of his dash ganks, but again I feel like there are better hero picks than Feng currently for the offlane, even if he does have the potential to be scary when fed. Portal Man is next. Gideon has a good mid lane potential and is very tough to kill in lane due to his portal blink, making him effectively have 2 blinks. However, his ultimate, unless played smart, is a very risky move, as potentially you might just get CC'd out of it, or they could just kill you inside of it. It makes him a very big target. I do like Gideon, but I just feel like his ultimate requires CC blocking items to not make yourself a big gold pinata, and even with a CC blocking item, they could just burst you down anyway. Drongo is next in the B tier. Drongo is a bit of a hard one for me because they are a strong carry and have high damage output. The main reason I personally put them in the B tier is because compared to the other 2 carries in the game at the moment, I'm not a fan of Drongo's ultimate personally. I understand it, it is strong, but I feel like it's more of a finisher than to use for the armor shred, as it knocks you and the enemies out of range of each other. So I end up either only having 3 abilities, or I just use it to finish off low HP people. But it is a really good escape also if you need a boost to a higher ledge or just need the distance. So I will say Drongo isn't bad by any means, I just personally prefer the other carries to Drongo. Finally on the B tier is Rampage. Rampage is a good strong jungler. Similarly to Kai, he can clear all camps and still be pretty much full HP. However, with Rampage not having as high a damage output, his clear is a little bit slower, so his early game suffers slightly. I do really like Rampage. His sustain and CC potential once you hit level 3 makes him a threat pretty much all game. However, due to there being other higher gank potential jungler options, I've placed him in the B tier. In the C tier, we're starting out with Narbash. He has a very cool kit with movement buffs, healing, a stun, as well as his ultimate which slows and knocks up. But he is definitely more of a synergy support, by which I mean your carry really has to know how Narbash works, as well as having a surprisingly high skill ceiling due to his passive. I really like Narbash, I just think his healing lets him down a little bit early game, and due to the anti-heal buffs he isn't as good as he once was. Not only this, but any hard CC will cancel his ultimate, basically forcing him to use True Silver Bracelet to even stand a chance at using it. Following him is Faye. Faye is a very strong wave clear mid laner, and when played right she has amazing teamfight potential. However, she is another hero that suffers from weaker early game, meaning it's quite hard to get an edge if you're against someone like Howitzer or Countess. I do think that if you're on Discord or something and you're a full stack, Faye could be a very strong pick. But without that vital communication or support from a jungler, she can get bullied and have her potential squashed early. Lastly in the C tier is Sevarog, and it really hurts me to put Sevarog in the C tier because he is very strong, but it takes a while for him to get there. His passive is great, and late game he can be terrifying to play against, but similarly to Faye, you can't always guarantee you'll even make it to 20 or 25 minutes, so he is a really risky pick unless you have confidence in your team. If I was only placing heroes in the list based on late game, Sev would probably be A tier because he's great after the 15 to 20 minute mark. But early on, he just doesn't have great trading potential, and if your enemy laner is successfully denying you farm, that's going to ruin your farming and hurt your game massively. Now lastly is the D tier, and I will talk about both of these heroes at the same time because I've placed them both here for similar reasons. I've put Belica and Muriel in the D tier. I just see them as the weakest supports, as well as mid lane Belica not being strong either. I did cover Muriel in my Let's Talk Pred video, but it boils down to her not being as effective as other support picks. Other supports can directly influence a fight and save their carry or gain them kills, however Muriel can't really do that. She can shield, but she can't really influence a fight beyond a damage buff and shielding. Belica is similar in the support role. She can deal damage and influence fights slightly, but due to her being squishy, if the enemies engage first, she has no escape, and her ultimate for both support and mid lane are very situational. If the enemy doesn't really use that much mana in a fight, your ultimate doesn't really help at all. Her drone can assist in taking down mana a bit, but it only takes a few hits to kill and doesn't drain mana at a great rate. So personally I just see better options for support than these two, as well as more damaging and versatile mid laners than Belica. But that is all the heroes in the tier list now. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I know almost everybody will rank heroes differently than me, but I've tried my best to be unbiased about these and think about their kits and how that fits in the current state of the game. If people like this kind of video, I might do one every major patch or one every season. I guess we will see how it goes. But with that, I will see you for the next video.